City News on TV Rotorua is proudly brought to you by Rotorua Central.
Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News. Prime Minister John Key was in town today to open Waiariki's new Health and Science Centre. Neighbourhood support voices concern over the elderly being targets for thefts. And Sport Bay of Plenty's Tour de Bay Corporate Challenge begins on Monday. Waiariki Institute of Technology was honoured to have Prime Minister John Key officiate the opening of their newest facility today, the Health and Science Centre at their Mokoia campus. The new facility will be home to the Institute's nursing, health, sports, foundation learning and Māori studies program areas. Waiariki Chief Executive Professor Margaret Noble says the new Health and Science Centre will provide the community and students with state-of-the-art facilities and an environment conducive to technological advancement in line with the innovative developments happening at Waiariki.
To give you a sense of how important this institution is, we just came from the teen parent unit down the road. And one of the girls that had been at the teen parent unit has just gone through the nursing course here, has graduated and is now going on to have a life, I'm sure, very successfully, all because of the opportunity she got here at Waiariki.
The local branch of Neighbourhood Support has voiced concerns over recent burglaries, with thieves targeting the elderly.
I don't say they're gullible, but they're compassionate for the person. They want to help out the person.
The thieves are using plausible stories to distract the target and then entering their homes.
There have been a number of instances of this, of people coming to the door and knocking, either asking for a person or saying they're trying to find a missing dog. And in one case, they asked for some strings and the person went off to get the string. And when they came back, the person was still there. So they gave them the string and they left, but after they've had a look around a while in their house, they found that their wallet had gone.
In sport tonight, February is the Sport Bay of Plenty's Bike Month and their Tour de Bay Corporate Challenge is still open for teams to register, with registrations closing this Sunday and the competition beginning on Monday. The goal for each team is to accumulate kilometres by cycling during February, with the aim of virtually cycling around the Bay of Plenty, totalling 410 kilometres.
So one of the programs that we've got coming up is our Corporate Challenge, Tour de Bay, where we encourage workplaces. We've also got things like gyms and that have got teams together. So you need a team of 3 workmates or colleagues where you come up with a cool cycling name. I just had one recently that registered called the Parking Possums from Council. So there's some really cool names that get registered. And the idea is to cycle as many Ks as you can throughout the month of February and clock up those Ks. There's spot prizes up for grabs, cycling shop vouchers, morning tea shouts from Robert Harris. So yeah, lots of great prizes up for grabs.
We'll hear more about Bike Month from Melissa Gordon later in the show. To your weather update now. A few evening showers with light winds tonight and an overnight low of 17. And we have a full forecast of the weekend's weather coming up after City News, thanks to Met Service. And you can access all the weather information you need at metservice.com. For program listings or to watch City News again, visit our website tvrotorua.co.nz and don't forget to check our updates on our TV Rotorua Facebook page. Coming up on City News, we hear more about Bike Month with Melissa Gordon from Sport Bay of Plenty. We catch up with New Zealand First MP Fletcher Tapito, and we're at the recent Rigs and Rides event talking with the organiser Jeff McCall.
welcome to Sports Bay of Plenty for another Play in the Bay catch-up with Melissa Gordon. Melissa, thank you so very much for having us yet again. Now, we're just beginning 2015. February is fast upon us. What's February going to be for us?
So for us here at Sport Bay Plenty, February is our bike month where we focus on biking activities for the community, and obviously there's a lot of big national events that are coming in as well. Yeah. So our calendar for the month is February. As mentioned, lots of biking activities. We also include a lot of bike safety tips and things like that too.
And so why have we chosen February to be our bike month?
Well, I suppose traditionally it's been known as Bike Wise, and everybody's known the old Bike Wise campaign, so that's where we, I suppose, stole the concept of making it our bike month for the Bay.
Very good. So how do we start the bike month, February?
So one of the programs that we've got coming up is our corporate challenge, Rotorua Bay, where we encourage workplaces. We've also got things like gyms and that have got teams together. So you need a team of 3 workmates or colleagues where you come up with a cool cycling name. I just had one recently that registered called the Parking Possums from council. So there's some really cool names that get registered, and the idea is to cycle as many Ks as you can throughout the month of February and clock up those Ks. There's spot prizes up for grabs, cycling shop vouchers, morning tea shouts from Robert Harris. So yeah, lots of great prizes up for grabs.
Very cool. And so where you're likely to ride on, we've got a calendar here. So are these some of the routes that they're able to take?
Well, basically it's a virtual challenge, so because we run this throughout the whole bay, the idea is that it's 410 Ks basically to cycle around the whole bay. We don't expect people to cycle around the whole bay, but we encourage you to cycle anywhere, so it could be mountain biking, road cycling, anywhere, whenever, so it doesn't necessarily have to be around the bay.
Thank you so very much. What's next on our calendar?
So another program we've got coming up is our Go By Bike Day, which a lot of people would have heard about in the past. It's been going for a number of years, and Friday the 13th is also the launch day for Rotorua Bike Festival, and we will have pit stops set up from 7am till 9am at 4 locations around Rotorua. So one of them being corner of Tenai and Tarawera Road, another one Rotorua City Focus, and outside West End New World Car Park on Old Taupo Road. Another one is Koutou Lights outside the Rotorua Heat and Gas. So what we're doing is we're encouraging people to cycle to work or school on that day, stop at a pit stop, register in the draw for a cycle shop voucher to win, also maybe pick up some morning tea and a spot prize.
Nice. Now for the Go By Bike Day and the corporate challenges, are there still time to register?
Definitely. So the Go By Bike Day, you don't need to register, just turn up on the day at the pit stops. Rotorua Bay, as long as you register by February, because obviously Sunday coming up is 1st of Feb, and that's when hopefully teams, get on their bikes and start clocking up those Ks.
Very cool. Absolutely. Right, what's next?
So next, another event we've got coming up in February. On Wednesday the 18th is the Family Fun Ride. So it's a free event, and we encourage families or beginners, newbies to riding, and we'll be meeting down by the BMX Club down Tenai Road, also by Mig's Gym for people that know the gym area, and we'll be doing a short and long course around the Sulphur Bay area.
Oh, very cool.
Also part of that event is a truck and cyclist demonstration. So we've got a guy coming up from Wellington who'll have a big truck set up down there doing a display, and basically people will have the chance to get in the truck and see what sort of view truck drivers have of cyclists.
Wow.
So it's kind of like a good safety demonstration.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Yeah. That is very cool. And so registration for this event?
So again, no registrations needed leading up to the event, but there will be registrations on the day from 5 p.m, and then the ride kicks off at 5:30.
Very good. Now, is this something we need to pay for, or is this free?
Another free event, and there's also spot prizes up for grabs at that event too.
Oh, very, very good. Now, Melissa, Rotorua Bike Festival is obviously this month. So what's the involvement that Sport Bay of Plenty have with the Bike Festival?
So this is the 3rd year for Rotorua Bike Festival, and Sport Bay Plenty are really happy to be on board and helping be part of the community-based events. The Go By Bike Day event, Family Fun Ride, another one that Sport Bay Plenty is involved with, is the Tykes on Trucks event, are all part of Bike Festival, as well as a lot of other local community events like Revolve, which is a women's cycling group, have shuttles and BMX and road cycling, all sorts. but the calendar is full of over 30 different activities and events, and we're out and about promoting what bike festival we've got on as well.
Very, very lovely. Now, Melissa, for anyone who'd like more information about any of these events or the bike festival in particular, where do they go?
So we've got locations, probably about 40 of them all over Rotorua, so that's such as medical centres, community centres, information centres, RDC, all sorts. So if you pick up a calendar, either this one or our Bike Month calendar from those locations or from the websites. So we've got our Sport Bay Plenty one, which is www.sportbop.co.nz, or the Rotorua Bike Festival website as well. It has a list of all the program.
Nice. And you're both on Facebook as well?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Hey, thank you so very much for your time, and thank you for another catch-up. Well, there you have it, Rotorua, Play in the Bay and Rotorua Bike Festival. Just give it a go. Kia ora and welcome. We're going to have a quick chat to our New Zealand First MP, Fletcher Tabuteau. So Fletch, do you still feel like a newbie to Parliament?
It's been an intense 3 months, and yeah, I still think I've got a lot to learn, but I'm a lot more comfortable now. And I've spoken so many times in the House, so I've really cut my teeth really quickly on so many different topics.
Yeah, okay, what topics?
I think the biggest one, and one of the last ones, was that countering terrorism bill.
Okay.
National was, they did in the end introduce the legislation to give the SIS and the GCSB more powers to snoop into people's private lives.
Okay.
So we opposed where they were coming from. They, made out like it was the only way to go.
Okay.
And we completely disagreed. They didn't need that extra power. It was exciting for me because it started out from the select committee process. So I was part of a ridiculously truncated select committee process. It was so short, it was insulting to the people involved. But because I was part of it and involved from the start, when I was speaking in the House, I was speaking from, a real understanding and a real knowledge of what the people of New Zealand were telling us.
Okay.
And so I was really comfortable and wanted to get up and say more all the time, rather than before where I was picking up legislation that was several years old, doing some academic research on it, making sure I knew the legislation, and then speaking from our manifesto, New Zealand First stance, is a bit drier, and it's nowhere near as exciting as being there from the start. So that was one of the last ones.
That was one of. What else have you covered?
Well, the very last one was probably National's most insulting way to send people into the Christmas period. They want to add another tax onto petrol.
Oh, goodness.
And, people won't notice it.
It's only just started coming down.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the end of the world because crude oil prices are dropping so much. But, man, what a way to go into the Christmas period. That was literally their last piece of legislation in the House. Let's put another tax on petrol. And whilst we agree with their end game, we have some international commitments. A tax on petrol to us just seemed like a lazy man's solution to a pretty small problem, Now,
there's obviously a tax hike on cigarettes, but why not alcohol?
Why not alcohol? Well, there's a lot of debate at the moment about the efficacy of tax and whether or not it actually dissuades people from using it, and also the debate on where the tax is actually applied and what kind of alcohol the tax gets hit with. And so for me at this stage, like one of our members has a bill where we would like to come down a lot harder on public drunken disorderly conduct and actual fines and court proceedings if it's severe, that kind of thing. But for me personally, more tax on a wine kind of punishes me, where all I'm doing is having a glass or two.
I see.
So that's where I'm coming from personally at this stage.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, New Zealand First itself as a party is coming down really hard on what seems to be this binge drinking culture. And if they can prove to us that a tax is going to fix that, then let's look at that. But at the moment, it's still a lot of debate to be had on that.
How has it been for you personally so far? Are you enjoying your role?
Enjoying's a tough word.
Okay.
I've said from the start that being in Parliament is an honour and a privilege, and like we talked about just a second ago, I'm definitely cutting my teeth, getting to understand what the job is about. So select committee is hugely important. And then debating in the House is, everyone sees the 2-hour question, the question time, the 2 to 3, the 1 hour time slot where we're all getting at each other. But select committee is a real conversation. It's a real debate among people who are trying to come to an agreed end. So that's quite civilised, and it's actually a good way to get to know the other members of Parliament. So, there's 6 national MPs on my select committee, Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade, and you actually get to know them a little bit better and actually get to like them, as scary as that is. And then on the left hand side, you've got Phil Goff, David Shearer, Dr. Ken Kennedy and myself, and what a privilege for me to work with such a skilled group of people. And then debating in the House. So like I said, I was speaking just about every second day that the House was sitting on all sorts of legislation. I'm the commerce, trade, energy spokesperson, tourism. So there's been a lot to talk about. And then Rotorua, this is kind of a first. Rotorua needs to know that I'll be opening up a New Zealand First office in Rotorua very shortly this year. Yeah.
Anything else to look forward to for 2015?
I'm taking this year as an opportunity to get out there and start talking to people. I feel like I've kind of found my feet in Parliament, so now it's about getting out there and talking to people in the local community. So that's my big mission. I'm going to open up the office. That's going to help me a lot to get out there. So I'm looking forward just to getting out there and talking and understanding what Rotorua's real needs are.
Very good.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so very much for your time. I look forward to seeing your office in April, May.
Yeah.
April, May. Cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. There you have it, Rotorua, one of our local MPs, Fetcher Tabuto. You heard from him.
Well, I'm here at the Aroa Park racecourse here in Rotorua, and there's no horses, but there's plenty of horsepower, and it's the day over the long weekend where truckies from all over the region get together, and they've got everything shined up, looking really beautiful. It's Rigs and Rides once again, and with me is Jeff McCall, who's one of the organisers here. Jeff, great day for it.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
Obviously good weather and everything now.
Can't beat the good weather.
How did the Rigs and Rides as an event actually just come about?
Well, back in 2011 there was that major earthquake in, down Christchurch there, and a few of us got together and discussed a way in which we could try and help them down there, and then we decided we should have put on a bit of a truck show, and then one thing led to another and word got out, and before we know it, we had a huge truck show on our hands.
And the rest is history.
That's right, yeah.
It happens every year. I think we might have been here last year as well.
Yep.
But it is an opportunity for everything to be polished up and all the chrome to be sharpened up and everything as well.
Oh, yeah, these guys get right into it.
It's open to the public, obviously. But one of the key things that you do here is that you've got rides for the kids and dads and stuff. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, initially it was for the kids to get out there and have a bit of fun riding around in the big rigs they see on the roads and all that, but
more for the big kids.
Oh yeah, seems to be a lot of adults coming for rides, so yeah, they enjoy it as well, so it's all good.
What do you think, Jeff, is the fascination with trucks, particularly from the little guy's point of view? I suppose there's a little fella in all of us, isn't there?
Yeah, I know I've loved trucks ever since I was a young guy. We used to stay on one of the roads around here, Sala Street, when I was young, and I just see logging trucks coming through Sala Street when I was at a young age, and I just really loved them from there.
And there is a lot of skill in driving these big rigs, because it's not just driving a car. You've got to have obviously a special license and so on, but often they're semi-trailers and stuff as well.
Yep.
So there's a lot of skill involved.
Oh yeah, you can't just jump in there and start driving it. You've got to know angles and all that for backing your trailers and which way the trailer's going to go and how to correct it and all that. So, and just road positioning as well with the truck. You can't just jump in there and turn a corner and think it's going to be all right, because you've still got a trailer behind you that's you've got to accommodate room for as well. So there's a bit of skill involved.
So am I right in saying too that there's a good range of the older, more experienced drivers, but also young guys coming through?
Well, the big problem we have at the moment, not just around here but throughout the country, is a lot of our young guys are getting trained up, and well, the way things are overseas, they're heading overseas to get the big money and all that, which, you know, you can't blame them. But in saying that, there is still a lot of good old school drivers still driving trucks and all that today.
Sure.
Yeah.
One of the things you notice when you first walk in here is that these trucks are not just work vehicles. The guys that drive them, and presumably some of them that own them as well, they take a real pride in it, don't they? It's almost like a big club.
Oh yeah, the trucking fraternity around this area is pretty thick. You know, we all love our trucks, and if you're part of the transport industry, it's like a family. We all get on really good, and we just love having shiny trucks.
And apart from days like this, do you guys get together, even though you're different companies and different firms?
Yeah, we do. We have functions and all that we go to and meet up and talk about who's got the shiniest wheels.
It's a bit of competitive atmosphere in there as well.
Yeah. No, it's really good.
Now, one of the things that I wanted to touch on too is you said about the earthquake and raising funds in the earlier days of Rigs and Rides. This year for 2015, fundraising wise?
Yeah, we're doing it for Plunkett.
They've been around a long time.
Yeah, they've been around a long time, but they don't. Everything they earn is what they do. They don't get any.
Any support?
Nah. So we've that's what we're doing it for this year, and we're impressed with what we've seen with them, and hopefully we've made enough money for them to keep them happy.
The gate takings. There's a lot of members of the public here, and it's still got a couple of hours to go. So thanks for talking to us, and all the very best. And we hope to see you back again next year. I reckon.
Oh, we'll be back, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, thanks very much.
That was Wayne Douglas at the recent Rigs and Rides event, talking with organiser Jeff McCall. If you'd like to contact City News, you can phone TV Rotorua on 07 34 88 984 or email news@tvrotorua.co.nz. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a great weekend. Ko Maria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News on TV Rotorua was proudly brought to you by Rotorua Central.